Yes, that book is there. Tom Sawyer is there for you. That is for your homework, for your holiday homework. Okay, that is there. It's not evaluative. Maybe in the final exams we'll ask you questions from that, but not now. Right? So we'll just keep it for your homework. It is not included this time. So we had read the poem Geography Lesson. And do you think what the poet has described in this poem as his experience, it is a geography lesson? How far was it a geography lesson? How far was it a geography lesson? Yes? He saw the country, right? So as he was flying higher and higher, he could see, right, his city. And as he went higher, he could see the rivers, he could see the fields. Yes? And till he was able to see that the earth is made of water and land, right? So let us look at our book and let's see what all we can notice from it. Yes, look at the first stanza. Yes, all of you, please open your books. Look at the first stanza. Yes, what is there discussed in the first stanza? What are the things that have been discussed? When the jet sprang into the sky, it was clear why the city had developed the way it had. The city had developed the way it had. Is the poet happy with the development of the city? No. And he's wondering that why is everything so unplanned? What is the word that we have for unplanned? What is the word here? Can you look at the stanza and pick out a word that is similar to unplanned? What is the word here? Haphazard. Very good, Pranjali. Yeah, okay. So it is haphazard. Yes, right? So when he looks at the city, from the plane as it just takes off, and then he realized that, see, there was a need for a colony over there was a need for a road over there, and yes, we needed a college outside, and why everything is so unplanned. So the word that is similar to is a haphazard. Yes. Seeing it scaled 6 inches to the mile as the plane rose higher and higher. It seemed as if the city was drawn to scale. So how do the architects draw things? How do they make things here? Scale is on a smaller size, right? 6 inches to the mile, right? So here it is, Jenny, 6 inches to the mile. Jenny, when you look at your map, it is in the centimeters, the map which you get for your political geography and all, right? Now, when I look at this line here, please look at the fourth line. Seeing it scaled 6 inches to the mile. As I read these lines, there is a repetition of a sound. एक sound repeat हो रहा है? Yes. What is it sound I'm repeating as I read this line? It is a S sound. It is the S sound. Yes, 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 absolutely correct. Now, can you underline the words where the sound comes? Which words are there where the sound comes? Seeing, scale, 6. Right? Now, what is this device called where there is the repetition of the same sound, of a consonant sound? Yes? What is it called? Please note down. I think so you might have discussed earlier also. You must have done it in your earlier classes. What is it called? It is called alliteration. Please note it down. Write it down in your books, and in bracket write down a consonant sound. What are the consonants? Yes, we know the vowels A, E, I, O, U. So all the alphabets apart from the vowels, they are consonants. Okay, so repetition of a consonant sound, what is it called? It is called alliteration, right? So seeing it scaled 6 inches to the mile. Yeah, other than A, E, I, O, U, they are the consonants. Okay, so we'll come to later, we'll discuss later what is the repetition of a vowel sound called. So first of all, we'll just focus on this. Now look at this stanza again. There seemed an inevitability about what on ground had looked haphazard, unplanned, and without style when the jet sprang into the sky. On land, it was looking very unplanned. So as he flew higher and higher, as the plane rose higher and higher, how did an unplanned city appear to be? How did an unplanned city appear to be? Planned. Yes, there was some sense into all that, you can say unplanning. Yes, so it appeared to be sensible. It appeared to be meaningful when he rose to a higher height and to a height where the things they appeared to scale. Scale matlab? They were measured, like, of course, maybe like, yeah, 1 mile here on the map, it is going to be a centimeter and so on. Inevitable means, yes, here it is something you cannot control, something that you cannot avoid, right? There seemed an inevitability about what on ground had looked haphazard. What was looking haphazard on the ground? What was looking unorganized on the ground? The planning. But when he rose higher and higher, what did everything appear? Logical, sensible, planned. Yes? Yes, so that it was appearing. So inevitable, automatically agreed. Okay, yes, this is what the developers of the city, they did. It was right. Okay? Yes. So when the jet sprang into the sky, is there a line that has been repeated? Which line has been repeated in the stanza? The first and the last line? Yes, when the jet. Like, has that line been repeated anywhere else in the poem? Has that line been repeated anywhere else in the poem? No. Only in this first stanza. Okay. Now, okay, yeah. So like we have, what do you call a repetition of a line in a poem? It is called as a, let me tell you this also, okay? Yes, so little things here you all have to remember, because now, yeah, you're in class 8, so you need to learn your devices here. Okay, what is it called? It is called as a refrain. So when a line is repeated in the poem, the line is repeated, it is called. When a word is repeated, it is repetition. When a sound is repeated, it is alliteration. When a line is repeated, it is refrain. Can you see? I've written it over here. Can you see it? Please note it down on your book. Now, please tell me here, do you know what rhyme scheme is? You all are aware of what rhyme scheme is. So when you start with your poetry, we immediately pick up the rhyme scheme. Now look at this stanza once again. Is there a rhyme scheme to it? Is there a rhyme scheme to it? What is the rhyme scheme? When the last word of the line, it sounds similar to the last word of the next or the line after that. It is not necessarily that the rhyming words, they have to be in the continuous lines. It could be after 2 lines also, the rhyming word. Now that I've said that, please look for the words. You know, like here, when I write a poem, if I ever become a poet, or supposing if I am the poet takes a lot of freedom the way he writes the poem. Why? So that he can have this rhyme scheme to it. And as he writes the poem, yes, he wants that you should speak the words in such a way that they rhyme. So sometimes we have to give a little more stress also. Look at the last words. Can we read the last words together? Yes, Hargunjot, are you back from your outer space? Yes. So he had put up that virtual background, so he's back to normal now. Okay. Let's read the last words. Let's read the last words. Let's find the rhyme scheme. Sky, city, hat, mile, inevitability, haphazard, style, sky. अब बताओ rhyme scheme है rhyme scheme? Is there? Yes. So the first word, what are we going to name it? A. Next would be B. Then would be C. Then would be D. Right? Because abhi tak all the words are different. They are not sounding similar. They are not rhyming. Next word. Inevitability. What does it rhyme with? Yeah, Pranjali is finished. She's written all the alphabets, maybe A to Z. Okay, there's no rhyme scheme. City, inevitability. Now, Pranjali, rearrange your words. Yes, dear. Yeah, correct. Okay. City, inevitability. What letter did we give to city? What letter did we give? B. Yes. And then now for inevitability. Yes, Angel, don't say no. Look at the poem again. Look at the stanzas again. Yeah, so we have them all. Can we write down the rhyme words? What difficult lag raha finding out the rhyme scheme? Write down the rhyming words. Inevitability is rhyming with city. Haphazard. Haphazard. We have to pronounce it like that so that it rhymes with had. Haphazard. Okay? Yes, so let's change the way we speak so that we get a rhyme scheme. Style. Mile. Then we have sky and sky. Did you get the rhyming words? Is there a rhyme scheme? Is there a rhyme scheme? Yes. Okay, good. Everybody is able to find the rhyme scheme now? Good. Now tell me, what is the rhyme scheme? Is it A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T? Is it? No, it's not. It's not. It is. Yes, who's going to tell me? Yeah, Vedanti is going to tell me the rhyme scheme. Parisha. It is A, B, C, D. Angel, please write down A, B, C, D. Then inevitability rhymes with B. Haphazard rhymes with C. Style with my, again D. And then you have sky with A. So B, C, D, A. Absolutely correct. All of you have got the rhyme scheme. Yes. Gents, Kanav, Manisha, Ribhav, Nilesh, every one of you, have you written it down? Yes. So this is like, of course, see, initially we started off, no, it does not sound like a poem at all. But now when we put our mind to it, we were able to find a rhyme scheme. How many of you said no in the beginning? Now we all find the, now we've all found it. Okay, very nice. Now let's move to the second stanza. Let's take a look at the second stanza. When the jet reached 10,000 feet. Yes, Vedanti, what's the question? So you can text me, I'll see. Yes. When the jet reached 10,000 A, B, C, D, B, C, D, A. Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. Yes, fine. When the jet reached 10,000 feet, it was clear why the country had cities where the rivers ran and why the valleys were populated. The logic of geography. Yes, Vedanti, correct. Very correct. The logic of geography That land and water attracted man was clearly delineated when the jet reached 10,000 feet. So what is the height of the jet now? How far has it risen? 10,000 feet. Yes. What are the things that are clearer at 10,000 feet? Yes. Why were there, cities where the rivers were? Why were the valleys so populated? And how is he relating it to his geography? Yes. Where are the cities based? Where is more of human population? Where there are rivers. That is what he sees. As he goes higher and higher, he's able to see the river. And along the river, what are there? The cities are there. Sees the valley. The valley also sees the settlement. He sees the houses there, right? So what does he realize? That where is this human population? Where are the human settlements? Along the rivers and in the valleys. Where did this he learn from? Where did he learn this from? He learned this from geography. So when you're taught geography, you taught about civilizations, you taught about settlement, you taught about human behavior. Okay. The logic of geography, that land and water attracted man, and we have been reading it right from there. Yes. So where it, like, of course, all the major civilizations along the rivers was clearly delineated when the jet reached 10,000 feet. So as the jet reached 10,000 feet, the logic of geography became clear. In the first stanza, which logic became clear? The logic of the planners, the logic of the developers. In the second stanza, which logic has become clear? The logic of geography, right? Of things that he has studied, things that he has read. What does delineated mean? What does delineated mean? Usko separate karna, alag karna, to show us. Okay. So what was clearly delineated? What was shown there? So as you go higher and higher, how do you think from a distance, what would the river look like from such a height? From such a height, what would the river look like? 10,000 feet. It would be small, of course. It would be a blue line, very nice, Angel. Yes, it would be like this blue ribbon, over there. Yes. And how would the houses look from the distance? Such a height, how would the houses look? Very small, tiny. Yes, tiny dots, little squares, you would see them, right? But what is going to be very, very clear? This is the river. This is city, right? And he's going to find it. Okay, this is what I've been studying in my geography lesson. And now I have understood, right? So that logic, that explanation is clear. Okay. Is there any alliteration over here? Can you find me an example of alliteration? Yes. Is there an alliteration over here? Aryan, Bableen? Yes. Can you tell me an example of alliteration over here? Okay, very nice. I am getting answers here. Yes, come on, tell me. Can we find alliteration? Please apply your English now. We've applied our geography. Let's apply a little bit of English that we just discussed over here, or a bit about our poetic devices. What is alliteration? Alliteration is a repetition of a consonant sound. Two words there together. Yes, so if I look at the first line of the stanza, 10,000 feet. Okay. I come to the third line. Rivers ran. I can spot it. Can you find it? Yes, have you all found it in your books? Nilesh, Parisha, Manisha, Gana, Jayant, all of you, you've been able to find it out. Very nice. So please write down. Vedanti, you were able to find? Very good. So yes. So what is there again? Is there a repetition of a line also? Has a line been repeated? Yes. Yes, the first line has been repeated. So what do we call that line, or what do we call that device? It's called a frame. Yeah, good. So everybody was able to find. So very good class I have. They've all been able to find out where the alliteration example is. Okay, fine. Now let's do the last paragraph. Okay, very good, very good. Yeah. And should we do the rhyme scheme also? Or let's do the last paragraph, then we're going to come for it. This rhyme scheme you're going to find out on your own, your homework for today. When the jet rose 6 miles high, it was clear the earth was round. And when we see the earth from the distance, only then we're able to see that, yeah, the earth is round. Otherwise, for a long period of time, people believed that the earth was flat, right? And that it had more sea than land. Okay, please. Yes, we'll discuss the rhyme scheme later. Can I have your responses later? Just write it down in your books and we can do it as a question for our homework. So it was clear that the earth was round and that it had more sea than land. So yes, what is there visible? There is more sea than land. But even then, we do talk about water, less water and save water, right? So it is a matter of concern because that sea water, it is not fit for drinking. But it was difficult to understand that the men on the earth found causes to hate each other, to build walls across cities, and to kill. From that height, it was not clear why. So there are many things that the poet was able to understand. But one thing, yes, that even geography, even flying so high, looking at the earth from a distance, it did not make him clear. Or it was not clear to him, sorry. So what were the things that he was not able to understand? What are the things that he was not able to understand? Why do we build these walls outside our cities? Why do we build these walls along the borders? Right? And yes, so even at a distance, he was not, the logic of geography he was able to understand, but the logic of the human mind, he was not able to understand. Right? So nature does not teach us to hate. Earth does not teach us to hate. And you look at the earth over there from a distance, there is nothing over there that tells us that boundaries need to be there. Who creates these boundaries? Who creates these boundaries? Man creates these boundaries. Okay, so these things were not clear to the poet as he flew. How high? So now he has reached 6 miles above.